What's the difference between a simple wrestling hold and a true fight-ending submission? It's the difference between performance and punishment. It's a technique honed through countless hours of pressure, pain, and split-second timing. It's the kind of skill that doesn't just win a match. It breaks an opponent's will. And it's exactly why Arissa LeBrock, with her serious background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, isn't just another hopeful face in wrestling. She's a potential WWE Champion in the making. Now, most people see the surface. They see the daughter of Hollywood royalty, action icon Steven Seagal and supermodel Kelly LeBrock. They see her own successful modeling career. But just beneath that glamour is a disciplined, dangerous martial artist. In this video, we're not just going to talk about her famous last name. We're going to break down the specific skills from her BJJ training that could give her a lethal advantage. We'll analyze the mechanics of her grappling, dissect the strategy behind submissions, and show you, move by move, why her foundation in martial arts isn't just a backstory. It's her most direct path to the WWE Women's World Championship. Before we even think about the squared circle, we need to understand where Arissa LeBrock's real edge comes from. Her story is completely unique, a compelling narrative of someone who traded fashion runways for wrestling rings. But the most important part of that story, the piece that sets her apart, is her deep respect for and training in legitimate martial arts. This isn't just some character gimmick, it's a core part of her identity. Her father, Steven Seagal, is a 7th Dan black belt in Aikido, and that martial arts philosophy was a part of her world from day one. But she didn't just ride on that legacy, she built her own. For years, Arissa dedicated herself to the grueling art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. BJJ is a tough, punishing discipline that demands thousands of hours on the mat. Arissa didn't just train, she tested her skills in competition, feeling the kind of pressure that you can only experience in a live role. This dedication is the bedrock of her potential. Pro wrestling is full of incredible athletes, but very few walk in with this specific kind of background. We've seen what happens when elite martial artists cross over. Think about Ronda Rousey's explosive judo or Shayna Baszler's sadistic catch wrestling. They brought an aura of authenticity with them, a feeling that you were watching the line between a show and a real fight get incredibly blurry. Arissa LeBrock has the chance to be the next chapter in that story. She combines the proven effectiveness of BJJ with a natural showmanship that seems to run in the family. But her path wasn't a straight line. After attending a WWE tryout, she didn't just wait for a call. She showed the resilience of a true fighter and made a critical decision. She enrolled in the Rhodes Wrestling Academy to train under the legendary Dustin Rhodes. There, she began the hard work of deconstructing her BJJ and rebuilding it for the world of pro wrestling. This wasn't just about learning moves. It was about learning to translate her skills into a new language. It's this combination, Hollywood lineage, legitimate combat training, and a fighter's resilience, that makes her one of the most interesting prospects in wrestling today. To really get why Arissa LeBrock is a championship-level threat, we have to look at the tools her BJJ training provides. BJJ is often called the gentle art, but honestly, that's a huge misnomer. It's an aggressive chess match where you use leverage and technique to completely neutralize an opponent. Let's break down the 3 key areas of her BJJ game that could translate into a dominant WWE style. The number 1 rule in BJJ is simple: position before submission. Before you can even think about finishing a fight, you have to secure a dominant position. This is the foundation for everything. In a real fight, and in a believable wrestling match, controlling your opponent's body is everything. It's about shutting down their offense, draining their stamina, and setting up your own attacks without putting yourself in danger. Think about positions like the mount, back mount, or side control. These aren't just fancy pins, they're platforms for destruction. From the mount, a fighter uses their body weight and hip pressure to pin an opponent, leaving their arms and neck wide open. When Arissa gets into a position like this, she's not just holding someone down, she's running the entire match. Every time her opponent struggles, they're just digging themselves into a deeper hole, while she stays in complete control, waiting for the perfect moment to attack. This idea of a positional hierarchy is what makes BJJ so powerful. It's a ladder of control. A grappler with BJJ training knows that a takedown is just the first step. From there, the goal is to constantly improve your spot. This methodical progression wears opponents down, mentally and physically. It creates a sense of helplessness that's both effective and incredible to watch. When you see a superstar desperately trying to escape a hold only to end up in a worse one, that's the BJJ philosophy in action. Arissa's ability to flow between these positions could allow her to control any opponent on the mat. Once a dominant position is locked in, the next part of the BJJ game comes into play: the submission. This is what truly separates a BJJ practitioner from a typical wrestler. For decades, WWE had rest holds. BJJ submissions are the exact opposite. They are anatomically precise techniques meant to force a surrender by threatening a joint or cutting off blood flow to the brain. Let's look at two of the most dangerous submissions in the game, techniques that could be instant match enders in Arissa's WWE arsenal. First up, the rear naked choke, or RNC. This is arguably the pound-for-pound king of submissions. Once it's applied correctly, escape is almost impossible. The mechanics are brutally effective. One arm slides under the chin and the other hand locks it in place, putting pressure on the carotid arteries. You can't tough out an RNC. It's a biological checkmate. For Arissa, this wouldn't just be a finisher, it would be a statement. Taking someone's back and locking in this choke is the grappling world's knockout punch. Next, the armbar, or Jujigatame. Ronda Rousey made this move famous in a WWE ring, but it's a cornerstone of both judo and BJJ. An armbar is a hyperextension of the elbow joint. By isolating an arm and using the power of your hips to bend the elbow the wrong way, you create unbearable pressure. What makes the BJJ armbar so deadly is the number of ways it can be set up, from the guard, the mount, or even in a scramble. The beauty of the armbar is its visual terror. The audience can see the arm bending at a sickening angle, and the opponent's panic tells a powerful story. These aren't just moves, they are applied science. The Kimura, the triangle choke, these are all tools in her potential toolbox that carry a level of danger few superstars can match. The final piece is getting the fight where you want it and keeping it there. While many wrestlers rely on explosive power takedowns, BJJ offers a more strategic approach to getting the fight to the mat, incorporating throws from judo and the unique concept of pulling guard. Judo throws, like the ones Ronda Rousey used, are a perfect fit for WWE. Throws like the Ogoshi, hip throw, look incredible on camera and show how a smaller competitor can dominate a larger one. Arissa's training would allow her to execute these throws with a technical crispness that makes them look both effortless and devastating. But BJJ's most unique element is the guard. The guard is when a fighter is on their back, but uses their legs to control and attack. For most wrestlers, being on your back is the worst place to be. For a BJJ practitioner, it can be a place of attack. This changes the whole dynamic of a match. An opponent who takes Arissa down wouldn't be safe. They'd be walking right into her world, a world full of traps they aren't ready for. This ability to be dangerous from anywhere is a massive strategic advantage. Her transitions, flowing from defense to offense, would be fluid and seamless, making her a constant, unpredictable threat. Having a BJJ toolbox is one thing. Translating it into compelling pro wrestling is a whole other challenge. But it's a challenge with a clear blueprint, laid out by the combat athletes who came before her. By seeing how they did it, we can see how Arissa's skills could make her a champion. For a perfect case study in turning grappling control into sports entertainment, look no further than Shayna Baszler. Baszler, with her background in catch wrestling and BJJ, brought a slow, torturous style to WWE. Her matches are often deliberate dissections of her opponents. This is exactly how Arissa's positional game could translate. When Shayna gets an opponent on the ground, she doesn't just go for a pin. She isolates a limb. She'll trap an arm and stomp the elbow. She uses her whole body to apply pressure, not just to hold someone down, but to make them suffer. This tells a fantastic story of dread and inevitability. Imagine Arissa LeBrock doing the same. She takes down a fan favorite, but instead of a quick win, she secures side control, driving her shoulder into her opponent's jaw. The opponent struggles, but Arissa just calmly transitions to the mount with a look of pure focus. She's not just winning, she's dominating. This style, which Shayna proved works at the highest level, establishes a character as a fearsome threat who wins through overwhelming skill. When it comes to making a submission a main event attraction, Ronda Rousey wrote the book. Her armbar wasn't just a move, it was an event. The entire match built towards it. The second she locked it in, the crowd exploded because they knew it was over. This is how Arissa's submissions become her path to the title. Rousey's success was built on credibility. Fans knew she had broken arms with that move in the UFC. That legitimacy carried over. The same could be true for Arissa. Her BJJ training is her credential. When she locks in a choke, the audience will understand it's not a simple rest hold. It's a legitimate technique from the world of combat sports. It's also about the presentation. Rousey's transitions into the armbar were lightning fast and came from nowhere. Arissa's BJJ expertise gives her that same potential. She could be on the receiving end of a move, but transition mid-air into a choke attempt upon landing. These are the moments that make a crowd gasp, grounded in realistic application. A baby face. Arissa could use a submission to overcome a monster heel. A heel Arissa could refuse to break the hold, establishing her as ruthless. The finisher becomes the climax of the story. The final piece of the puzzle is blending it all together. Here we can look at a mix of Ronda Rousey's explosive throws and the chain grappling philosophy of technicians like Bryan Danielson. Like Rousey, Arissa can use judo-style throws to get the fight to the ground with high-impact moves that pop the crowd. But what happens next is what could define her. Instead of pausing, she could flow directly into a submission attempt. Think about it. Takedown. Right into side control, into a Kimura attempt. The opponent defends, so she transitions to the mount. The opponent gives up their back to escape, and she sinks in the rear naked choke for the win. That's chain grappling, and it's mesmerizing to watch. It showcases intelligence and a relentless pace. This hybrid style would make her a threat in every phase of a match, giving her the tools to have a great match with anyone, a brawler, a high flyer, or another technician. It's the hallmark of a true champion. Beyond all the techniques, there's an invisible quality that separates contenders from champions. It's mental fortitude, and it's something Arissa LeBrock has been building for years. The time she spent on the BJJ mats didn't just build her body, it built her mind, and that is an asset that can't be faked. The discipline of BJJ is a journey of constant failure. You get tapped out. You get put in painful, claustrophobic positions day after day. Learning to stay calm under that kind of pressure is a skill that translates perfectly to the high-stakes world of WWE. Performing at WrestleMania is terrifying, but for someone who has faced the real-world pressure of a choke sinking in during competition, the psychological stress becomes manageable. This mental toughness was tested early in her wrestling journey. The road to WWE is brutal, and facing setbacks right at the start could have been the end. But Arissa's decision to double down and seek out the legendary Dustin Rhodes at his Rhodes Wrestling Academy speaks volumes. At a place like that, you don't just learn moves, you learn the why. You learn psychology, character, and how to tell a story in the ring. For someone with Arissa's raw material, a mentor like Dustin Rhodes is the perfect person to help polish it into a main event-ready product. This journey demonstrates a level of grit and determination that defines every great champion. She's already been knocked down, and she got back up more focused than before. That experience builds mental armor. When she faces inevitable setbacks in her WWE career, she'll have a reservoir of resilience that most of her peers simply won't. This is the aura that surrounded legends like Kurt Angle, the undeniable confidence of someone who knows they are the most dangerous person in the ring. So, when you look at Arissa LeBrock, don't just see the famous last name. See the discipline of a grappler, the strategic mind of a chess master, and the unbreakable spirit of a fighter. Her path to the WWE Women's World Championship is clearer than you might think. Her BJJ training gives her a system to control any opponent. Her potential submission arsenal provides her with credible, fight-ending finishers that will set her apart. And her ability to translate these skills using the blueprint laid out by stars like Rousey and Baszler could create a hybrid style that's both spectacular and unstoppable. More than the moves, it's the mindset forged in the fires of martial arts. The resilience she's already shown and the quiet confidence that comes from possessing legitimate skills are the intangible assets that make a champion. Arissa LeBrock isn't just following in the footsteps of others. She has the potential to be the next evolution of the authentic fighter in WWE. Her rise to the top isn't a matter of if, but when. Now I want to hear from you. We've talked about arm bars and chokes. What BJJ move do you think would be the most devastating finisher in a WWE ring? Let me know in the comments below.